Wednesday, my dude! Oh yeah! Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Daily Live Stream. It is Wednesday night / early Thursday morning. I hope all of you are doing well today, as I'm doing pretty well myself. This is the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For any new viewers out there, thanks for being here. Welcome. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell as we take this parallel journey on learning more about technical analysis each and every day while we try this incredible feat of profiting on a consistent basis. Thank you for being here. If you are a current member, thank you for being here. If you're a current member of the Facebook Blackfire channel and you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, man. Come on through. Welcome. Absolutely excited about today's stream. We do have plenty to talk about here today. A couple of significant signals here, in my opinion, that are flashing a little bit of concern as far as the bearish perspective is concerned, and we're going to go ahead, dive right into it. I am planning on keeping this one a little bit shorter today. I'll try not to mumble or repeat myself. I am trying to get better at that. I have a tendency to repeat myself when it comes to analysis, but I guess it's just kind of one of my quirks, one of my, weaknesses, if you will. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to hop in here, start with NASDAQ as usual, per the usual. And we do see a nice little recovery, a nice little bullish divergence low here, bouncing RSI back above that 50 read here. I'm not sure if this actually closed above support. Maybe, let me see, let me reposition it. Resistance here. Yeah, technically, yeah, we did close above resistance. Looking at potentially flipping it to new tentative support and, putting into perspective that, that potential higher low structure here. I did say that was one of the possibilities here, but there is something to still be very, very, very aware of here as far as the bearish perspective is concerned. We're going to cover the bearish perspective first before I cover any bullish possibilities. Obviously, I like to look at both sides of the coin when I do any kind of analysis. I like to be prepared for anything. So looking at this price action here, we do have a bullish divergence low playing off right now, back above resistance barely, but enough is enough. Close enough is close enough. So for today, I will be looking for a confirmation of new tentative support here before looking for an extension to test that 21 exponential here. This is the region where I'm going to be looking for lower highs. Realistically, and I'll go ahead and move this this resistance here. Any lower high below the $15,500 resistance level here, the prior lower high here will just be another lower high in formation here, and I would ultimately be looking for downtrend continuation to new lows below $14,830 coming into the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks here. Excuse me. Shit, I'm already needing some water. God damn. Again, that's kind of what I'm looking for on NASDAQ. We already have, a downtrend confirmed again, but you could argue very easily that this is just a micro downtrend in the macro context here. Again, when you pull out, man, even a pullback like this could still prove to be a continuation of an uptrend, right? And really, realistically, until we break that $14,830 region here, I'm going to be convinced the possibility for bullish continuation to new all-time highs is still there. Excuse me. Why? Look at the highs. Look at the highs and look at the lows, right? We boom, here's one. Here's a higher low in conjunction with the past two lows here. Continuation, new all-time highs. Boom, back pull. New low, but it's a higher low in conjunction with the prior macro low. Boom, here, huge bull run. Nice little dip, pullback, higher low, new all-time highs, another higher low, boom, new all-time highs, and yes, technically, in conjunction with every previous low, is still considered a higher low. This is a higher low, but, that's a little bit of the bullish perspective, I'm still focused on the bearish perspective, right? I want to be prepared for everything. So for now, what I'm looking for here is for this to, either fail, right? And if it does fail, continuation to that low point is a very, very, very big possibility in my opinion. But we did recover back above this diagonal trend line here, so that is something to be considered, right? That is something to be considered. We're just trying to jot down all the notes that we have, but you know, the main disposition, obviously, following the 21, as long as price action remains below the 21 exponential here, I will be looking for a lower high structure to potentially formulate here. And again, we could see a short dip back above, but if we get a lower high confirmed below this resistance here, I'm going to be looking for new lows coming into this formation, and maybe a significantly larger downtrend evolves out of this formation here. Again, that's just a perspective. That's just a possibility that I'm looking at now. You know, if we recover back above the 21 exponential, I will be looking for continuation to test that resistance, that lower high resistance, somewhere around 15,515, right? And I will only be convinced, again, I did mention this yesterday, the only thing that will convince me of a full market reversal here is a candle closure and a confirmation of support above 15,515. That is the only thing, taking out this prior high here, that's going to convince me that new all-time highs is going to be possible here. Outside of that, any condition below that all-time high being met is going to convince me that downside probabilities are increased towards the 14,830 region here, right? This prior low. This is the low that I'm looking at here, right? If we see open and closures below this low, this is where I really get concerned for the macro trend as well. Any closure below 14,830, I'm going to be looking for another stab at 14,580 and likely lower, right? Likely lower. Bounces along the region, confirming lower highs along the way, and a big downtrend formulating here is definitely possible here. For price action right now, I'm being patient. I'm not being given any signals. RSI, obviously bouncing off that long-term trend line, continuing on to the 50 read, but still remains below that 50 read here. This could easily be a rejection point for price action. I want everybody to be aware of that. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is all for educational purposes, but I am very, very, very keenly aware of that 50 read here. Again, I do pay a lot of attention to RSI in conjunction with that 50 read, and I take those reads extremely, extremely seriously. I also take the factor that the exponential is extremely negative along this region into consideration as well. Even if we do break above that 50 read here, I would be convinced that price action continues at the bare minimum to that lower high resistance here. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be looking at that negatively sloped exponential for staunch resistance here. While the long-term structure from an RSI perspective is still still intact, as well as the long-term structure for price action. You have to be aware of these types of price action. And what do we see as well? I did decide to bring this back into play today. We are seeing historical volatility percentile kind of ripping to the upside, right? We've been kind of flatlined along this region here as price action climbed to new all-time highs. We didn't see any extreme expansion of that volatility, which means from my perspective, it didn't take too much, right? It didn't take too much to get price action all the way up to those new all-time highs. And then what do we see? We see price action declining, boom, and volatility begins to expand right here, right? We got some significant expansion, and the moving average here gaining a very, very, very positive slope on this expansion here. This is kind of one of those things that tells me maybe we see a little bit more pullback action. If we see a lower high in formation here, new lows on increasingly expanding volatility, I'm going to be very convinced that the expansion of the volatility is in the direction of the downside price action movements. We also see stochastics here rejecting that negatively sloped exponential and pointing straight back down, even though we had ourselves a nice positive green day across the market. We saw stochastics here on NASDAQ reject and looking to aim a little bit lower. Again, this long-term structure is still intact, but I do believe it is being threatened at the current moment in time. So for now, the way I'm looking at price action, I'm either looking for a rejection of the yellow 21, a rejection of the lower high resistance to confirm another lower high, or just straight continuation further down to new lows. And again, the only condition I'm looking for on NASDAQ as far as bullish reversals are concerned are candle closures above the prior lower high around $15,515. If and only if that condition is met, will I be talking about further extension to new all-time highs. And that's where I'm going to leave NASDAQ here. We're going to move on to SPY futures. Kind of the same thing. Again, a lot of these structures looking eerily similar here today. We do see RSI for NASDAQ, creeping back up towards that 50 read again. I don't know where my long-term structure went. I don't know why this isn't here anymore, but it was. I think that's the only point. think that's the only point here. We do have a little bit of a long-term structure to consider here. No, actually we did have it, and it was here. And I deleted it because I don't think it's valid anymore. So, okay, that's why I deleted that one. So we do see a nice little bounce. No low call on SPY futures here, setting RSI back up towards that 50 read. But again, the exponential being, straight down essentially, and we remain below that 50 read tells me that the pressure still remains to the downside. We are supporting that, extremely long diagonal uptrend line here. But when it comes to price action from a conservative factor, we do have a change of behavior to be considerate of. Although we did recover back above it at the current moment in time, nothing is confirmed until we close back above this support here. If we do close above this support, I will look for a secondary open and closure, but ultimately I'll be looking for this price action to kind of follow, what NASDAQ's doing, right? If price action in NASDAQ goes up to the yellow 21, tests it and rejects it, I'll be looking for SPY futures to more or less do the same here. And again, the conditions remain the same. As long as we're below this lower high, any price action movement to the upside, I'm going to be looking at with bearish goggles. And again, another potential lower high could be in formation here. This could easily just be a bouncy bounce before another lower high is printed and new lows are confirmed here. Again, stochastics remaining in bearish control. Absolutely not seeing a real big spike of momentum here and actually losing some of that juice along the way. The bears absolutely, from a stochastics perspective, have control in my opinion. And again, any price action movement to the upside, I'm going to be looking at RSI to hit that 50 read, which is perfectly lined up with that exponential right now. I'm going to be looking for rejection. And again, the only condition for these big three here that I'm going to be looking for is a closure above the prior lower high. If and only if that condition is met, I will be convinced of potential new all-time highs. I will be convinced that this is another macro higher low in conjunction with other macro higher lows before bullish continuation to the upside. But the way momentum oscillators are looking and the excuse me. And the way historical volatility percentile is expanding on the downside movement definitely gives me some evidence. It definitely gives me, a little bit of concern as far as the bullish perspective is, is in consideration here. I'm actually going to be looking for lower high structures. So new all-time highs is not in the conversation of any of my topics here today. Again, the conditions could be met, but I am not going to be talking about any kind of new highs or new all-time highs until the bare minimum condition is met on these two assets. Let's go ahead and move on to Dow Jones. Same type of thing here. Where's our last high? Boom, right here. This is the high that I'm going to be considering here. This one's absolutely bleeding to the downside in my opinion. No low call on this one either. Back up to the exponential, testing the top side of the bearish control zone. Again, a little bit of price action continuation could be expected, and a low call could be, expected. But again, if we do get a low call, it's just a lower low in conjunction with this low. But then you could argue when you pull out, when in doubt, pull out. We still have a macro higher low structure technically. Although I do believe we have a change of behavior on the daily time frame for this asset. Anything is possible, right? And again, historical volatility beginning to expand as price action decreases. Stochastics breaking that long-term structure here, in my opinion, no longer valid. Coiling in the bearish control zone, finally seeing its first peak back above. Not looking too healthy in my opinion, and we're in the bearish neutral zone right now. So it's up to the bulls if they want to confirm this as a macro high or low here. At the bare minimum, I need to see opens and closures above the 21 exponential before I'm convinced of movements towards that lower high resistance here. Again, this one actually has, in my opinion, a lot more space to cover. It has a lot more work to do if this one's going to be convincing of bullish continuation. For now, what am I looking at price action to do? I'm actually looking for continuation to this resistance once again at 34,550 and potentially even to the yellow 21 exponential somewhere around 34,750 as well. But again, I got those bearish goggles, I got those bearish eyeballs on right now, and I'm going to be looking for another lower high structure. Again, we haven't seen a lower high since the prior lower high all the way back here on the 2nd of September. So, I think we are due for a little bit of a relief before potentially seeing rejection. And again, until price action takes out the prior high here, I'm not going to be convinced of any type of new all-time highs at all whatsoever. I'm actually going to be again, looking for that bearish perspective, looking for resistance, looking for lower high structures here and downtrend continuation. If we do get a lower high below the 21 exponential, my first target to the downside is going to be near the spot 5 Fibonacci extension, somewhere around 33,240 bucks, give or take a few bucks here, but that would be the next general target. And if we do see that target met and closed on below 33,482, we will have a significantly macro significantly lower macro, lower low, right? Because this region right here is considered a macro lower low or a higher low, and technically that works from a higher low perspective. And if we see price action dip all the way down below that, it's gonna be nasty in my opinion. I think the market will be looking at full-blown reversal at that point, and it'll be very exciting. Obviously it'll be very exciting. So it's basically the same shit as NASDAQ and SPY futures, except I do believe this one has a lot more space to cover, and I'm not going to be talking about new all-time highs because we are well and far away from that. And until I see any conditions on any of the big three that suggests bullish continuation, I'm going to leave new all-time highs alone for the time being. We're going to go ahead and move on. I want to see what DXY is doing here today. I do believe it is in a little bit of a pullback, right? Yeah, a little bit of a pullback. Oh, no, actually currently pulling back. We did see DXY here break that resistance. Oh, I told you guys. We put a lot of pressure on that resistance here, right? And we have bullish control from a stochastics perspective. But here, look at this. Volatility is absolutely crushed right now. Volatility is actually at a 0 read while price action pulls back a little bit. I do believe this price action is due for a big movement. Again, volatility is not indicative of price action direction. All it's telling me is that we are absolutely crushed. Let's go ahead and put a trend line on this bad boy, actually. Where would I put that? Suggests climax for this one could come in November here, November 7th. So any time between now and November 7th, a big bad move. Again, no direction indicated here. A big bad move here could be a possibility for the US dollar index. From my perspective, I'm looking for new highs on this one. We're back above the 21 exponential. We continue to see the trend move upwards here. We're in a higher low structure. RSI looks healthy as ever, although not in the bullish control zone. We are still climbing in momentum here, printing new highs after confirming a top. And this is confirmed as a higher low as well. Our stochastics is deep in the bullish critical zone, looking like it wants to start coiling a little bit. Again, any kind of movement to the downside that doesn't react, more violent than this, just suggests that we could be looking at some coiling action in the bullish critical zone, which is awesome, right? Awesome if you're bullish on an asset here. For now, what I'm looking at is price action back testing new tentative support. If we do confirm this as new tentative support, I'll be looking for new highs. I'll actually be looking for 93.80 as the next price target, which again would be indicative of that long-term uptrend continuation for the US dollar index. And the only thing that would convince me otherwise is a complete crash meltdown below the 21 with an open and closure to confirm the 21 as new tentative resistance. If we get that condition met here, obviously I'll be looking for the first low as the general target at 92.45 first and foremost, but I think it would go much lower if we saw some kind of flash crash right now. Am I convinced of that? No, not really. I think the U.S. dollar index goes on and continues the bullish uptrend. Excuse me while I take a sip. So that's going to be it for DXY here. Let's see, what do I want to do first? Do I want to do crypto? I want to do Bitcoin. Actually, let me pull up the requests here today. DOT and Ethereum. Okay. So we're actually, again, and this is why I love technical analysis, because sometimes these days occur, and it kind of blows your mind a little bit. We are seeing a lot of similar price action here across all the markets, essentially, barring the US dollar index here, seeing a little bit of a pullback. Most of the assets that we're going to look at here today are seeing a significant bounce, and we actually see this one continuing to the next tentative I'm excited about this. The next tentative resistance being 44,600, give or take a few bucks here. Again, as long as we remain below that 21 exponential, I'm going to be very confident of a lower high structure here. So yes, I do believe we are seeing a little bit of relief right now and a little bit of continuation. Definitely possible back above 44,600 here. I'm going to be looking at the 21 as the potential target at the current moment in time. And guess what? I have positions lined up right here, which I'm actually close to entering one. And you know what? let me scratch that for a second. I think I forget. I want to describe to you guys my position right now, because I don't want people thinking that my position is looking at extreme risk right now. So the general rule of thumb for my positions is 25% of your overall account is the maximum amount that you can put into a single position, right? I decided to bend the rules on that a little bit, and I went up to 30%. So what I did, okay, just to clear up any confusion here, obviously I entered here. So yes, I'm technically in the red right now. I entered here, and I'm averaging up into this short position, right? And I got one lined up just above the 21 exponential. And basically, I'm taking the risk of this market continuing to the downside. Why? Because we have new lows confirmed. We have a change of behavior. We have a downtrend confirmed, and I'm going to play the downtrend until the trend comes to an end. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. So what I'm basically planning for, what I already have planned and lined up, is for price action to continue to this resistance here, and likely through it as well, up to the yellow 21 exponential for another clean entry. Obviously 2% above the 21 mitigated. Yes, I could lose a huge amount on this, but I didn't get a clean entry point on that initial confirmation below the 21, right? So I had to come up with a different plan. And the plan is to take a little bit more risk. Unfortunately, I have to take a little bit more risk, but I do believe this is the moment where Bitcoin turns and goes bearish for a fucking year. We've already got confirmation of a macro lower high, and we are seeing continuation to the downside. And that's why I want everyone to be aware of, while the bullish perspective, again, it is possible. I could be wrong. The way I'm playing it, we're below the 21. We've confirmed that rejection of the Hall 104 moving average, which we'll talk about, and we're continuing on the downtrend here. Again, looking at the high in comparison to the prior high, it's you can't make this shit up, ladies and gentlemen. You literally can't make it up, because I'm about to show you a whole bunch of examples of where this works. And the Hall 104 currently has a 100% hit rate. Every time it's been rejected after a blow off top, it has confirmed a year-long bear market or an absolute crash. It has a 100% hit rate. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. We'll go to the macro, bring up the weekly time frame, close that 21 exponential here, boom, bring up the HMA, boom. Is this the right chart? I don't think it is. Boom, there we go, there's my fibs. So let's go back in time, and I want to, again, I'm going to completely blow everyone's mind every day with this indicator here, just because, we have plenty of evidence that suggests a year-long bear market is basically what's in the midst for Bitcoin right now. So we'll go back to 2013 here. Again, 2013 blow off top, somewhere around $1,000. Boom. We start our downtrend. Obviously, we see some weekly recoveries, right? Especially on that first low. Boom. Huge weekly recovery. Looks familiar, right? Looks familiar. Boom. Downtrend confirmed. Break through that 104. Back test to that honey hole. The spot 5 is the honey hole. Between the spot 5 Fibonacci extension and the spot 618 Fibonacci extension is that honey hole money shot that we're looking for to get rejected on the weekly time frame. Boom, kisses the Hall 104, confirms a year-long bear market. And then we break through and we see a colossal, once in a lifetime, absolute catastrophic bull market, boom, to the 2017 blow off top of $20,000, followed by boom, weekly lower high, downtrend continuation on the daily time frame, back test. People get excited. Well, we're going back to the bulls. We're going to new all-time highs. Rejection confirmed, year-long bear market. And then what do we have here? Boom, break back above. Nice little blow off top, downtrend confirmed, breakthrough, little fake out, breakthrough, kiss, reject. Cryptocurrency during that colossal coronavirus dump times sets in a nice low, back above, boom. Bull market, $65,000 blow off top. What do we see? Nice little Wyckoff distribution pattern. Fails below the Hall 104, excuse me. Nice little consolidation down. Boom. Back test, kisses it to that honey hole. The spot 618, perfect touch. Rejection. this could very, very easily be the confirmation of that year-long bear market that we've been talking about for quite some time. And this is enough of a rejection here for me to say, I'm going to be looking for short positions on the daily time frame. So coming back to the daily time frame here on Bitcoin, again, I love Bitcoin so much, and that's why I talk about it the most here, because this is the asset that I analyze the absolute most. We'll bring back that CT MAC, that caretaker exponential moving average. We'll go back to my chart here. Boom. So in my opinion, I'm looking at this as a little bit of a relief rally here. Boom. I'm going to be looking for lower highs. And again, same thing as NASDAQ, same thing as SPY, same thing as Dow Jones Industrial. The only thing that will convince me that we have more to go is a open and closure above this point here, the prior lower high. Somewhere around 48,000. Let me zoom in on that. Let me get a more accurate depiction of this right here. There we go. Bring that resistance right there. 48,400 bucks is the condition that I'm looking for. I need to see price action recover. Boom, shoot straight up, print a new high. That'll be the only thing that convinces me that maybe this one continues on to not to new all-time highs, to new highs in the structure. But even so, with new highs, we still have to be wary of that potential of a year-long bear market. But for the way momentum oscillators are looking, looking at stochastics here, bounce back up, hits the neutral zone, rejects it. Not a good look. RSI comes back up, hits that that trend line here, bounces up here again. This is why I'm going to be looking for rejection. I'm going to be looking for the 50 read to reject here, and that negatively sloped exponential. As we have been basically since it reverted from positive to negative here. We hit 1, 2 tests, rejection. I'm going to be looking for the same kind of stuff on Bitcoin here to send this price action further down. Now let's talk about the downside conditions. If we break this support level here, which technically is still support. We did see a closure below it, but we saw a full recovery back above it, so it is not resistance, it is still support. Any closure below this region here at 42,200, I'm going to be very convinced that a full extension to the downside to the $38,200 region is definitely likely, in my opinion, with potential of price action movement even lower to 34,000 and even lower. Ultimately, if we don't see a full-blown recovery to new highs on this price action here, overall, I'm looking for targets all the way down at 28,000 and potentially even lower. Again, I'm looking for a bear market at the current moment in time for the cryptocurrency here. We are seeing volatility expand here while price action declines. We are seeing momentum oscillators get beat the fuck up here. You be the judge, you guys. You be the judge. But the way I'm trading it, as long as price action remains below that 21 exponential here, I am going to be looking for a significant entry point upon back test of that 21, and I'm going to be looking for the 21 to reject, confirming a lower high, sending price action further down. Looking for, you know what? Let's do. I got some requests. Okay. Let's do Hall of Fame first. We'll do Hall of Fame and AMC. We'll do AMC first here. So I can't believe this, but look, my diagonal it got supported. Look at that, wouldn't you? Here's the thing, though. We do see RSI, not confirming a higher low, not just yet. Coming back towards that 50 read here. Again, anytime we're below the 50 read, I'm going to be looking for rejection and decline. We do see stochastics not doing jack shit. We're still seeing it decline as well. The historical volatility percentile is absolutely crushed. So I do believe a big bad move in conjunction with price action here is likely to appear. Let's see, potentially when. It's way out here. It's way out there. We have plenty of time before any kind of big bad move comes out of AMC here. So we'll go ahead and back and let's look at price action. What's price action telling us? Nice little recovery. Did we get back above support? No, we didn't. Well, we're actually confirming this as resistance at the current moment in time. The fact that we confirm this as new tentative resistance here tells me that price action has a higher probability to come back down, test this region once more at 37.23. If we break 37.23, I'll be looking for price action to continue all the way down to the bottom side of this blue box area here, somewhere around 32,000 or 32,000. Look at me fucking up numbers. 32.30. I do apologize, you guys. I get really excited. I start messing up my words. Matt's in the house. What's going on? Happy Wednesday. AMC here, a little bit cognitive of a potential pull into that 21 again. We did see a nice reaction off support here. So moving back above this resistance to confirm it as support is definitely a possibility here. you know, we got a little bit of momentum on this movement here. So, you know, again, a pull into that 21 could very well be possible here. But again, the condition is, you know, pretty much the same. You know, as far as the, you know, the macro continuation thing is concerned here, I'm not convinced of any continuation to new highs until we confirm a new high. Anything below 51.84 that confirms as a high is going to be confirmed as a lower high, and I will look at that as a downtrend initiated here. We do have a change of behavior on the daily time frame here from a micro perspective, with price action taking out this low and then confirming that low as tentative resistance. Not a good look, again, with momentum oscillators looking the way that they are. Downside continuation, in my opinion, is the most likely outcome. You know, break above, you know, a low here. Yeah, again, we did have it, you know, an uptrend line here. This could definitely technically be considered a macro high or low in conjunction with, you know, the prior lows here. And it could send price action to new highs, but again, I need to see evidence. You know, we saw a change of behavior, and the macro looks like a lower high, right, in conjunction with the all-time high. So this could very easily be a downtrend in formulation here for AMC, and until I see new highs, I'm going to be convinced of the latter here. I would get a little excited with a recovery back above the 21. At that point, I would be more biased towards a little bit of continuation for price action on AMC. Yeah, let's talk about targets. A break above $40, $40.30 here. I will look for a move back to the 21 exponential and maybe even to the next resistance at 44.79, 44.80 here. But again, I would look at those levels for potential rejection if we do take them out and close back above that 21 with an open and closure. I would be inclined to look for a re-extension to the current high at 51.88. But unless that condition is met here back above the 21, I have no reason to look for that. And even if we do look for that extension, if we fail to close above 51, $52 here and confirm a lower high below $52, downtrend confirmation, continuation confirmed. So, you know, for the downside though, if we continue to reject $40.32 here, again, I think we take the 37.20 region out and go for the $32 target here at the bottom side of the blue box. And again, you know, we got a lot of evidence telling us that this potentially could happen. I could be wrong. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm taking my own speculation and applying it to my videos as my own personal trading journal. If I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong. I'm currently not in a position, so I could be wrong on this all fucking day. I could be wrong on all of these assets all day. The only position that I have right now is on Bitcoin. I closed my AMC position. I closed my MMAT position. I closed everything as soon as we started threatening that 21 exponential. Hall of Fame next, and then we'll do MMAT. Where is my Hall of Fame? HOVVVVVVV boom. Oh, we're putting a lot of pressure on that resistance. High or low, you know, this could be a micro uptrend in formation here. I am right now a little more convinced that we're putting a lot of pressure on the $3.05 region. We actually closed on $3.05 over here. We actually wicked up to $3.09. I would be more inclined to say price action likely breaks this coming into the next couple of days. If I do see an open and closure back above $3.07, the next target I'll look for is the current high, somewhere around $3.38. But again, when in doubt, pull out. When I look at the whole structure, you know, you could argue that we do have, you know, a similar formation. Oh, what the flying fiznuck here? Give me a second, you guys. Collapse this a little bit. You know, you could argue, yeah, we're on an uptrend, but you could also argue nice little triangle formation here. An ascending triangle typically ends up in bearish results. It doesn't have to end up in bearish results, but typically it does. We do seem to be coming towards an apex deadline here, a climax point here, somewhere around the middle of October, right around the time I'm getting married for the Hall of Fame on the daily time frame. Is it relevant? I'm not a pattern trader, right? I don't look for, you know, triangles or anything like that. I like to play a horizontal resistance and support, but, you know, this is relevant. It is, you know, a topic to be discussed here for this price action, and it is something to take into consideration, in my opinion. But The most important thing here, in my opinion, is whether this breaks up or breaks down. Any kind of closure below the current low, $2.75. I think this one fails catastrophically and comes back into this blue box territory below $2.42. However, I do believe price action breaches through that $3.05 resistance and confirms a candle closure above there and continues to the current high. We do have the etchings of a potential uptrend in formation. Obviously, not as healthy looking as as the overall formation back here, but nonetheless, we do have a low followed by a higher low and a higher high here. The thing that will convince me that this thing is really getting ready to rip is a higher high above $3.38. If that condition is met, the next target I'll be looking for is 3.76 and likely 3.97, maybe about $4. And then things get really exciting if price action continues to move on above there. We do see RSI playing with that 50 read real tight. This will be convincing enough for me. Again, if we close above $3.05, we see RSI tick above that 50 read, I'll be very confident with a movement to the upside. We do see stochastics confirming an uptrend line here, back above the the bearish control zone, looking for potential continuation. We got some signals here firing up for a potential move to the upside, so it'll be very interesting. Another thing that will convince me is a secondary candle closure above the 21. That will also convince me of the bullish perspective here. But again, if we fail, if we continue to consolidate, it'll be consolidation until either the bottom side here at $2.85 breaks or the top side at $3.05 breaks. So that's going to be the Hall of Fame here today. How long is this video? 40 minutes. I don't have that much time. All right. Let's do wait. Gotta ask. Let's do WNDW. WNDW. That is from Jennifer. Solar Window Technologies, over the counter. What the fuck? This one potentially could be looking at reversal. We got. Woo! Macro high or low could definitely be confirmed right now. Continuation. I'm going to be looking for continuation on this one. I did some analysis in the past on this, and it does look like it is looking for a reversal. And it does look like my prior analysis before the last 2 days was correct with continuation far below those targets that we were talking about here for WNDW. But, boom, huge reaction. Historical volatilities percentile. Boom, huge expansion. I like that. Stochastics. Boom, new highs. Back above that 20 read, into the bearish control zone, looking to exit the bearish control zone. Significant read, RSI, back above the 50 read. Man, I'm looking for continuation. I'm looking for significant continuation. The first level I'm going to be looking for here is $6.50. If we take out $6.50, the next target's going to be $8.50 as well. We could be looking at reversal here. We could be looking at this region here as a macro high or low in conjunction with the last lows here. Again, when in doubt, pull out. While we were in the precipice of a downtrend, from a macro perspective, you could very easily argue that we are still in an uptrend. Rising lows confirms that. So this one looking real juicy, and the only thing that would convince me that this won't continue to be juicy is a full-on swan dive back below, confirming another lower high. Before continuation to new lows, and unless that condition is met, which would technically be below the 21 exponential here, I'm gonna be convinced of continuation on this one. This one just exploded, absolutely exploded, and look at the fucking momentum. Look at the sharp uptick on that 21 exponential. This is the kind of signal that I like to see. I want to see confirmation. Again, I do want to see support hold, or just straight continuation with a secondary candle closure above that 21 exponential. But if we do get that condition met, I'd be very inclined to look for continuation. Very beautiful, very nice price action movement in the last couple of days for this one. If you bought that low perfectly, congratulations. We're gonna go ahead and move on. AHT, Ashford Hospitality. Okay. All right. So we have something in formation here. We have a little bit to talk about. We do see a fresh cross on the bullish control or bearish control zone, back above the exponential on stochastics. We do see a rising momentum on RSI here with another low confirmed, a higher low at that. maybe we start seeing some actual momentum expansion here for this one. We do have a closure back above the 21 exponential, and the question is, does this remain in a consolidation phase, or does it continue above resistance? Yes, we are above the 21 exponential, but we've seen the last high here close above the 21 exponential and then get rejected. It's up to the bulls, in my opinion, to continue this one forcefully above the 21 exponential and confirm a secondary candle closure above the 21 exponential. If we get that condition met, I will be looking for targets all the way back up at 18 bucks even. However, if we reject the 21, I'm going to be looking for the bottom side of the range once again, somewhere around $12.50, and likely, momentum here reverts. The only thing that's really concerning here for me is the absolute crushedness of historical volatility. Again, this does suggest that a move likely appears out of thin air for this price action, but direction is not indicative of historical volatility percentile. I would be very confident, though, that if this one does break the top side of the range on expanding volatility, that will basically imply the direction of this move here to the upside. This one's absolutely been just dog shit. I'm not undermining this stock here, but it has been dog shit for most of its existence here. So, am I confident of continuation to the upside? Not really, but I could be proven wrong very easily with continuation above the top side of the range on expanding volatility while momentum continues to go up. We have the upside possibilities, we have the downside possibilities. That's where I'm going to leave that one. MMAT is going to be one more, and then we got two cryptocurrencies back above. I think this one breaks out, to be quite honest with you. I think this one breaks out. Maybe curls around the bottom side of the top side of the bearish control zone here. We do see RSI putting in that low here and breaking that triangle formation, still remaining above the 21 exponential. I am going to be looking for extension to the top side resistance here at $5.70. But I want to see momentum on stochastics revert. I want to see a little bit more expansion here on historical volatility percentile. Again, it's just being crushed right now. It's not in the single. Well, it is in the single digits, barely. It's at 10. Usually when it gets into single digits, that's when I start looking for potential moves and potential setups here. Unless this one fails, which technically you could argue it's consolidating. This little region, let me mark it. This little region right here, it's been ranging. So we can go ahead and kind of identify that range real quick. Bottom side support. Boom. Top side resistance. Boom. You could very easily argue that this is, in a little bit of a mini consolidation. Yes, it did break that triangle formation, but I am more confident on moves above horizontal support, horizontal resistance rather than a break above, a little tiny flag formation. While it did look like a little bit of a bull flag, it potentially could play out to the upside. The extension to the upside is $5.71. I will be more convinced of that if we take out $5.25 for this price action. But if we reject this region and come back down, the 21 is going to remain at threat. But we do see a little bit of a tick up here on the 21 exponential with that price action movement. So we got a couple of points for the bulls here, and only a few less for the bears in my opinion. The only thing that we got for the bears is that momentum continues to decline here on the stochastics, but a higher low formation is definitely in the probability of possibilities here. So I would pay really close attention to the breaking of $5.25 or the rejection of that region. That's going to be doing it for that one. Let's check out 1 USD. 1 USD. Harmony. Below the 21 exponential, finally. I'm going to be looking for the 21 to reject, same as Bitcoin. It looks like this one moved when Bitcoin moved, just in a delayed fashion here. Below the 21 we are, and currently, above support, yes, printing in no low. We do see declining momentum here, and the RSI does not look like it wants to continue vastly to the upside. Stochastics nosediving, new lows confirmed. I do believe the 21 gets rejected, to be quite honest with you, and price action goes back down to 11.5 cents and maybe even lower to 9.5 cents. The only condition, again, that would convince me otherwise is a candle closure above the current lower high, which we do have confirmed, and a downtrend confirmed as well, as we did take out the last low, which is where? Yeah, we took out the last low. Technically, we took out the last low. So we do have a change of behavior. We do have a lower low. We do have a downtrend in formation. So I will be looking for lower highs unless we take out 16.5 cents. Any candle closure above that region, indicative of a secondary open and closure above the 21. I would be looking for a test of the current high right now at 21 cents, to be quite honest with you. But momentum's down. We are seeing pressure to the downside. We're not in the bullish control zone. We dipped through the 50 read, dipped back up, held it as support, but we're looking like we want to dip right back below it again. So be very, very, very cognitive to see if we see another lower high in formation here for this price action. I would be very, very confident in looking for rejection of either the 21 exponential or the corresponding resistance just above it at 15.2 cents. That's going to do it for 1 USD. Last one for the day. Oh, I did the wrong one. I was supposed to do DOT. Sorry about that. I guess I got two more. Polka dot. We got a change of behavior. We are above the 21, looking for potential secondary closure, but we do have a lower high here. Can we zoom out? No, we don't. We don't have a lower high. We don't have we don't have a lower high yet, which means this could still be uptrend continuation. This one here though convinces me that we're looking at a little bit of a what do you want to call it, change of behavior here, but looking at RSI here, bullish divergence, up, bullish divergence, and two drives of bearish divergence as well. Very, very, very confusing stuff. We are seeing extreme volatility expansion here. RSI below the 50. Yeah, that's a critical signal. RSI back above the 50. This one's confusing. I'd say if we close back above the 21 exponential here, maybe we see a test. Maybe we see a test back up to 34.60. That would be my next target here with that open and closure, right? Because we did close yesterday's candle above the 21, and this candle would be indicative of an open and closure above the 21 to confirm a movement back up. And if we close above 34.55 here, I think we go for new highs. I think momentum oscillators revert back to the upside, and we see a little bit more bullish continuation, although bearish divergence, another drive of bearish divergence is very likely for this price action here. Again, if we do confirm a higher high on price action, but a lower low on momentum oscillators, a big drive of bearish divergence likely plays out, and we see how much of a joke bearish divergence is on this. It's not. Very, very significant moves here as a result of bearish divergence playing out on the daily time frame for this asset. So, if we do see continuation to new highs here, be very wary of potential divergence traps and divergence plays here. However, we could easily close. We could easily reject here and close below the 21, at which point I would look for a move all the way back down to 27.75 and a lower high to potentially formulate. If we do get a lower high, I'm going to be looking for lower lows lower than this. I would actually be looking for the next target at 23.85, all the way down to this low here, which would be indicative of the 21 continuing to hold as resistance. So, we kind of, we have the potential to see this as a little bit of a fake, a little bit of a, trappy trap, a little bit of a bear trap here, because we did see a sharp break below the 21 and a confirmation signal below the 21 for a bearish entry point, followed by a fuck you, psych, recovery, and a potential secondary candle closure back above the 21. If we do get that candle closure back above the 21, I'll be convinced that this one continues onwards and upwards. But we are seeing RSI acting as resistance a couple of times with that negatively sloped exponential. So, again, be very wary of that bearish divergence potential on this one. We're going to go ahead and move on. Last one for the day, Ethereum. Same as Bitcoin. Absolutely exactly the same. We are seeing a little bit of momentum cross up on stochastics here. Doesn't mean shit after this lower high. Momentum is crushed on cryptocurrency, especially Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. Again, I'm going to be looking for the 50 read here to act as tentative resistance. I'm going to be looking for the 21 to also act as tentative resistance. And unless we close a candle closure above 36.20, we'll call it 36.20. We'll just call it 36.20. Yeah, 36.20. Any candle closure above there will be the only thing that convinces me that this is going to be absolute reversal for potential new highs in this formation. However, when I look at RSI, We hit that bearish divergence and rejected the negatively sloped exponential. That was, a big critical signal here, as well as this candlestick closure below the 21, a perfect entry point for a short position. Boom, to new lows. Absolute change of behavior. I'm going to be looking for any new high below the current lower high to be rejected and confirmed as another lower high, at which point I would be looking for lows first at this level here, 26.27, followed by this level here at 24.15. I would be looking for bearish trend continuation. And look, volatility expansion. Boom, as the market comes to the downside. Definitely indicative that the direction is likely to the downside for cryptocurrency here, you guys. And again, if we do close on new highs above 30, we'll just call it 36.30 here, I would be looking for new highs, probably testing the all-time high at 41.95, and likely further, at which point I would get a couple of Fibonacci extension targets laid out. But at the end of the day, we're seeing change of behavior. We're seeing momentum being pushed to the downside. We're seeing the 21 accumulate a very negative slope. And we've seen it play out in the past here where, we get a little bit of a little bit of consolidation above. Just kidding, new lows. So, look at price action, take it with a grain of salt. Pay attention to price action. Obviously, I'll be following it every day. And, all of my analysis, again, could be absolutely wrong, but the point of all of this is to have a plan no matter what happens in the market. And if you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. But if you plan, you likely succeed. So that's going to do it for today's stream, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell, especially if you're a new viewer. Thanks for supporting the cause here. I will be back once again tomorrow at the same time, roughly, maybe a little bit later. But that'll do it for today. Thanks for being here, guys. And until next time, you know what it is. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.